control me myself and I sell you my soul. I am ready to face the inevitable. No steady when races, but never in goal. So instead of embracing it,
I'm the one that wakes up in the morning and pisses excellence. Clearly these motherfuckers wake up in the morning and let that piss go straight down the toilet. They ain't on my level, nowhere near. Promise you, there's nothing that can stop me from winning this match. Nothing will stop me from winning this match.
Put the shades of shame back on.
Don't call me sweetie. I'm not your sweetie. Don't call me sweetie.
Get them shades.
Boy, shut up. You're a pedophile.
Let's go.
Let's go, Rico! Put the shades on! Put them on, Rico!
Choked. This is getting sad.
Reginald the Greetone says put the shades on.
Oh, you fucked up!
You're easy to predict. Me. 3-0. 6 is Tackington.
Sonic Fox, let me just know what he looks like. Right, which one? No. No, I'm not. No.
You done being a bitch? Like you gonna join or what?
Can you hear me properly or what?
Are you? Oh, I can't even say that. Let me stop.
No, say it.
But did you get the invite?
Say it. Don't be scared.
No, I ain't gonna do you like that. I ain't trying to get you banned on your own platform. You know what I'm saying?
Fix your fucking mic. How about that? Fix my face! Oh my god, fix my face! Can I just pull this picture up? Can I?
Get me out of here. Get me out of here. I don't want to play this bot.
I don't want to play you.
I don't want to play this bot. I don't want to play this bot.
I don't want to play.
I don't want to play this bot. Get me out of here.
Fuck out of here, man. Trash ass piece of shit.
Chad, am I lying for saying what I'm saying right now? Your best bet is beating someone on multiverses, bro. You're not touching nobody on MK. You're sure as hell not beating nobody on Tekken. Just stick to multi, kid. That's all you need to play.
You're just yapping. You're just yapping.
Please understand. They sent you screenshots, right? They sent you screenshots.
And what have you?
Discord.
What have you given me? What have you given me?
What would you possibly like me to give you? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Someone sent me screenshots of this.
Okay, well, I mean, how are you gonna dispute the videos? Wait, hold up. Here, Alex.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is your boy's son Tsunami, and welcome to the art of trolling. Now, that person you saw earlier was Six Erican, and he is a prolific British streamer that has gotten famous for his shock value content that he usually does while wearing an Oni mask. His rise to fame came from the interactions that he had with many notable people within the FGC community, including Ninja Killer, Mike Trolinsky, Foxy Grandpa, and even Sonic Fox himself. Like other lolcows, he is notable for being an online punching bag, with detractors showing more support than any actual fans have. Now, I can go down the Six Erican rabbit hole and document everything he has done. Shout out to OCD Gamer who has done that since the start. But that is not the purpose of today's video. Like I said earlier, this is the art of trolling, a video series where we explore the ethics of trolling and a way to shed light on some of the events that surround troll spaces. Now today, we are looking at Six Erican's community. However, we're going to narrow it down to one individual in particular. TurtleDaze.
Damn, you suck.
Shut the fuck up, man. You fucking idiot, man.
Fuck you, you fucking bitch. You suck. Look at you. You fucking bitch. You suck. Eat a dick.
Pussy, go on. You're talking now? Open your big fat fucking mouth now!
Talking, and I'm gonna keep on talking. When you leave, break your fucking suck, you fucking bitch. I'm gonna fucking beat your ass. I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna teabag you.
You ain't teabagging nothing. No one's teabagging anyone. You're hiding behind corners. I'm not interested. I'm sorry. I'm not interested. I'm leaving. I can't do this. I got people hiding behind corners.
I'm refunding the money. I'm gonna refund the money.
You're not refunding my money. You're not refunding my money. What the fuck?
Take this ass whooping. You're gonna take this ass whooping. You're gonna take this ass whooping. Don't leave either. Take this ass whooping. Take this ass whooping. Take this ass whooping. Take this ass whooping. You're gonna take this ass whooping.
I can't do this. Do you know what? I'm sorry. Just take the money. Just take it. Just take the money. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Just take it. They're T-testing me in my ear. I can't hear. They're T-testing me in my ear. I can't hear. Yo, stop this tism business, guys.
Where are you looking at, Six? Where are you looking at? 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 Take this entire ass whooping. Take this entire ass whooping. You know who this is. Either you unblock me, either you unblock my actual account so I can give you an ass whooping and you can see my name and what?
The enemy's securing the flag.
Fucking put your thinking cap on. You fucking suck, Six. I'm your boogeyman in this game. I'm gonna keep on doing this until you fucking realize I own you in this game, you bitch. God. What are you fucking doing? You fucking suck, Six. Best 2 out of 3 too. Like, come on.
No.
Because if you fucking leave, I'm gonna refund. You're not good, bro. Bro. Yeah, keep on. Yeah, keep that glory for a little bit. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose, bro. 2. Put my fries in the bag. Put my fries in the bag, little bro. You're my little bro. I'm your fucking father in this game. You're a good bitch. You're a good
Let's
bitch.
go one. Let's go one
Good
more
bitch.
time.
Good
Let's
bitch
go
again.
one more time.
Yeah, we're gonna go one more time. You're my little bitch. You're my little bitch. Say my name nice and slow too. What are you fucking doing? You fucking suck! You fucking suck, and you suck, and you suck, you fucking suck, you suck, you suck. Spam TurtleDaze, please. Spam TurtleDaze, please. Spam TurtleDaze, please. Spam TurtleDaze. Spam TurtleDaze. This is the second time, and you're fucking throwing haymakers at your shit too. That's insane, bro. Everybody, remember Spam TurtleDaze, please. Go subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna keep on posting content of me beating Six, so you know, just keep on posting that, all right? So keep going that.
TurtleDaze, a now notable name within the 6-area control community, received his claim to fame thanks to videos by both OCD Gamer and the Chicken Warlord. At a certain point, when 6 would turn on COD, the audience was expecting Turtle to make an appearance. Now this begs the question, how did Turtle harness all of this support? Well, he did make a Discord server, it was called The Show. However, our story does begin in a server outside of it called Revolt. But first, let me preface this by saying that all the information that I have comes from the interviews that I did, as well as another server that Turtle set up that shows his side of the story. It's important for me to stress that this is only one side of the story. So let us begin.
You go, bro. It's gonna be hard on you. Listen, we're trying to help you.
They're going into Moise's chat. They're going into Moise's chat.
Because Six, you're not taking it seriously.
Yes, I am taking it serious, but they're going into Moise's chat.
No, you're not. Hold on. Six.
Prior to making his server, Turtle was part of a server named Revolt, which seemed to be the #1 spot for 6-area controls and trolls alike.
So the whole purpose of the Revolt was to get a bunch of evidence on 6 to be used in an expose video. However, it started to garner more attention when people like OCD and more popular trolls like me, Kyoto, and Virgo, to name a few, were like the earlier trolls, started to come through and like make a name for ourselves and basically like rep the Revolt in a sense, if that makes sense, right? No. So basically, the server, the 6-area Revolt, was founded by Too Tall Taylor and Rox's Rokusasu. When I was first put into that server, it was actually after I lost to 6 in multiverses, and people were basically like, you know, talking shit about me, and I kind of felt bad. Kind of hurt my self-esteem, and thankfully OCD, he like took me up by the mantle and like put me in that server. At that point in time, I wasn't really like talking much. I still was in the server, but I wasn't talking. I barely used Discord around that time. It's actually like a year ago since I think that happened, actually, believe it or not. And I basically like, you know, took a hiatus from basically watching 6 or even engaging with 6 for that time being until like early August came around. And that's when I started trolling 6 on Call of Duty, and that's when I started making a name for myself and garnering attention off of trolling 6, if that makes sense.
Turtle was in a group chat with 2 individuals, Kyoto and Kagumash Musha. Kage wanted to hack Six's computer with a virus so they could get access to his files. Kyoto was against it, and Turtle was the middleman trying to calm both sides. However, the levee broke and tensions rose as Kyoto told him off, and Kage was unhappy. However, what gets Turtle banned is when Kyoto gets invited to the server by Turtle and crashes out, leading to both of them getting banned from Revolt. Now let's hear how both of these gentlemen recollect on the event.
Then around that time, I guess Kage wanted to possibly send a Trojan virus to Six Erican's PC, and I was like,
here I ask him if he thinks that Kage was serious.
well, at the time, it sounded like he was, and to be frank, like, I'm not really big on like committing crimes like that, dude. So I was like, yo, Kage, you don't want to do this, man. Let's not do that. Come on, let's be reasonable. Let's not be rash. Like, that's kind of how I was thinking. Because it actually seemed like he was actually intent on doing it, and the reason why I felt as though he was intent on doing it is because he went out of his way to ask Kyoto, how do I do this, that, and the third.
And are you familiar with the conversation that took place between you, Turtle, and him?
Yeah, yes, I am well aware. I'm well aware of it. And to me, like, the whole thing, it was me personally, from the beginning, it was me just reaching out and having my own personal idea to being like, you know what, this is my way of, I don't know if this is, yeah, got it.
Let me clarify for the audience. What we're talking about is in the DMs, at least the screenshots provided, you were trying to inquire about a way to hack into Erican's computer. Is this correct?
Correct. Okay. Yeah, that is correct.
Now please continue.
Absolutely. I was gonna go for context for everybody as far as this go. I was gonna go ahead and pull some really stupid and deplorable things that I'm pretty sure the community or any type of community in general wouldn't seek approval of. But I was gonna go out of my complete way to pretty much just Trojan horse him, basically. So basically infect his PC and break, and just completely break down his OS and all this shit using like a Trojan or some shit like that. But that is super illegal. So I not only backed out of the situation, but when Kyoto started threatening to send, Six Eric in my name and all these screenshots, I was just like, what happened, bro? We were all supposed to be all aboard together, and and then just because you got into a disagreement with Violet, you just said, you know what? All right, I'm gonna walk away. And then and then Turtle invites fucking Kyoto to the Six Revolt to just proceed on with the drama. So I went and completely. Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry because what you said contradicts what I heard from Turtle. So you're saying that Kyoto threatened to leak all the information and give it to Six Erican to get you in trouble, essentially.
Yeah, essentially, yes. So that was also in one of his streams. I believe it was like a year and a half back or some shit like that. So that's open information right then and there. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So in the sense, I was just like, yo, you know what? Since this was supposed to originally be in secrecy, I only told a handful of players in this when I was going to plan to do this. I only told Turtle, Kyoto, a couple of my constituents that are a part of the Six Erican universe. That I'm not gonna put out names because privacy reasons. I don't want their names being out there unless it's their consent, or if they want to be out there. But either way, he comes back. Turtle comes back and invites him back to the Six Revolt. And me, I'm just generally just speaking my mind and I'm venting out and I'm just saying, hey, look, it's not a big deal on y'all guys' end because I'm taking all the responsibility. So in the end of the day, if everything really goes to shit, if the shit hits the fan, I'm literally gonna be the one to take the big hit here because nobody's gonna be affected but me.
So that was his boiling point. The melting point was when the whole thing with Kyoto happened and Kyoto basically like lashed out on him. And then I basically let Kyoto into the server and he kind of spoke his piece and then he left and then they banned me because of that.
My wife really said hello.
So I was like, okay.
Streams, you're definitely getting cheated on.
This is me when I'm asking him, oh, Did Kyoto
Okay, so
leave on himself? Was he kicked out the server? What happened to Kyoto?
He left. He left. He left. He left on his own accord. He left on his own accord. I let him back in because if he was already in there, he left on his own accord. I was like, okay, I'll just let him back in. He didn't get kicked. He didn't get kicked. So I was like, okay, well, if he left on his own accord, then I basically invited him back in, and that's just how it is.
So that happens. That's the event with Kyoto. Before I continue on with my next line of questioning, though, I do inquire to Turtle about the age group of Revolt as well as the dynamics of the group.
The age group, so primarily it was mainly like for the Revolt server, it was kind of like it kind of was limited to minors, but it was only limited to minors that probably had an interaction with 6 that can be documented. But it was mainly 18 plus, from what I could remember. I'm not so sure about it. I'm kind of shaky on it. I would probably like, because I haven't been in that server in a while. It's probably defunct. It's not really active as much. But that's from what I remember. So I could be wrong. So just take. Yeah, there's with some outliers there in the mix. Yeah, but the thing is that like it flies under the radar because Rat King is a founder, and the thing about the Revolt that really was like annoying was that if you tried interacting with one of the founders, you were inadvertently interacting with 3 out of the 5 founders, which was in total Too Tall Taylor, Roxas, Rat King, Violet, and 2 Shots. 2 Shots, Violet, and Rat King are kind of three peas in a pod. If you interact with one of them or piss one of the 3 of them off, more likely they're gonna know about what you did to one of them, and they'll probably fuck with you back. That's just kind of how it is.
So when it comes to groupthink, you're gonna have that in many servers, and it's worse when the mods are together like that and are friends. It's not a big deal though, it does happen. But when you have groupthink, right, when everyone has the same hive mind, it's hard to grow, and that's when you do get an echo chamber. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened with Revolt. I have no idea, besides from the testimony of these 2 gentlemen, what Revolt was like. But let's continue and see if we can get an inkling. The main thing I wanted to note, though, is that it was full of young people in that server. And I'm not saying that the maturity level of older people is that high, but when you're younger, you're more likely to not own your mistakes. You're an obfuscator by default. Not many young people can take accountability. But also, different things worry younger people. So there's a lot more things that people are going to fight about. And because they can't take accountability, that's when issues lie. Now, I'm only saying this because I think it becomes very important when we talk about the next event and the polarity between the 2 sides when it comes to this event.
Or Zero Covenant God, from who you may know. Basically, I was in his server and I was kind of like chill with him, and Kage ended up in that server, and I was like, why is Kage here? This is kind of like with Kage nuking my server and whatnot, and I was so confused as to why. I didn't really know. This was after my first server, like my original first server got nuked. I was confused. This was around Christmas time when my server got nuked, or a little bit before. Kage initially thought that I manipulated low-tier Rybar into leaving the Revolt server. However, at the time when I got banned, I basically said that, like, dude, I was feeling a plethora of emotions, but I really felt deeply that, like, this is starting to become like a Sons of Kojima type thing. It's like we're being told what and what not to do when it comes to trolling 6, and I thought that was really shitty. And so like, you know, I didn't really have anyone to talk to, and I just kind of hit up some people, and Low-Tier Rybar was one of them. And I just told them, like, hey man, if I was you, I'd leave that server. It doesn't really seem like it's gonna be going too well in there. It's becoming an echo chamber. You know?
Here I ask him if Rybar left the server after their
No, he didn't leave. He basically talked with Violet and a bunch of other people about how I basically told him, like, oh, how I made him feel bad about being in the server, and they put it in his head that like I was manipulating him. And so I guess getting lost in translation. For some reason, Kage thought that Kage said that I manipulated Rybar while he was drunk. However, I'm not able to know this because one, I didn't hear any slurring of speech. Like I wasn't hearing any slurring of speech. I can't really smell anybody's breath through like a phone. I can't really do that, and I didn't really hear any slurring of speech, so it was really hard for me to indicate whether someone was intoxicated or severely intoxicated, to that matter. Because if they're able to formulate sentences and talk, I'm assuming they're sober and coherent. You know, if I would have known, like exactly, like if you're able to formulate sentences with me and able to respond to me and not slur your words, I'm gonna assume with confidence that you're not inebriated. I basically told them that it was like an echo chamber, and the thing is that they were like, you shouldn't have someone basically tell you how to basically like, if you want to stay in the server, you can stay in the server. That's your choice. But you shouldn't let Turtle. But the issue is like, you shouldn't let Turtle dictate if you should stay in the server or not. And like I didn't. I suggested it, and that's the thing. But it's like the entire thing is that the narrative is being spun that like I'm a bad person and I don't take accountability for anything, and that's what was kind of pissing me off.
He went out of his way to talk to one of my friends as well while he was drunk and telling him, hey, you know what, you should leave this server. Basically just influencing the person while they're not in the right state of mind. And
So
I told him, I was like,
this is Rybar we're talking about, correct?
Correct. And to me, that was just like, that was more fuel to the fire that I've already had, because I was already torn in my head at the time. I'm just sitting there like looking at his server, being the owner of his server, and torn between, either nuking this shit to bejesus and back to send a message, or completely trying to talk to this man cordially. I chose the first option.
No, exactly, and that's all I gave. It wasn't like I was blackmailing him, telling him to leave the server. It wasn't like I was. It wasn't like on everything I love. I'll put this on my life. I didn't do anything to that man. I didn't say anything crazy to that man. I was just like, gave him a suggestion, gave him my opinion, gave him my 2 cents. Because where I was at, I was in a bad state. I felt alone. I felt like I got abandoned by the people that basically took me in, and I felt like I wasn't accepted by my community. No, dude. After the Rybar situation, he really felt that way. Because in the screenshots that I have implicated, it literally says, "Oh, so you don't remember?" He basically told me I backstabbed you for Rybar. His words, not mine. His words, not mine. That's where I was at, realistically, at that point in time. Like I was ostracized, and then it only was made worse when I kept on seeing the shit talk that was happening behind my back. Like, it was like, dude, why are you talking so much shit, man? Like you would think that the way, how I moved, you'd think that I basically did something crazy to them to elicit a response like this.
No. Now, in my opinion, I find the situation to be weird. I don't think it was anything to really be fought about. I think that the blame fully falls on Rybar. I think he manipulated a situation that didn't need to be manipulated. So that's just my opinion on that, though. Moving forward from it, I think it's obvious to tell that while this situation really meant a lot to Turtle, for Kage, it was just parts of a whole. Now let's explore what I mean. Okay, I understand. All right, so then but that's with Kyoto. So then let me pivot it back to Turtle, because this is mainly about how Turtle's server got nuked. At least the first one, the shell.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that your beef started with him after the DMs, once the DMs were closed, at least with Kyoto. But what was your reasoning with how you changed with Turtle? Because via the screenshots, if you guys were good before, I see the back and forth you guys have had, and I see that it's been heated. So I'm curious about that situation.
Okay, so me and Turtle were originally very cordial, and for context, I was a fan. I was a fan of Turtles. I was actually, I was one of those guys who'd be like, yo, W Turtle, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? I was once a fan. But then as I started, interacting with him throughout the entire time, I was also giving him personal advice. I was like, hey, look, listen, bro. Like, if this is really bothering you this much, my man, take a couple of days off, right? Take a couple of days off, cool yourself off, bro. Take some personal time to yourself. Do what you need to do. If it's school, if it's personal life with your family, do what you got to do. Take like 5 or 6 days off. And then during the agreement of me taking the server for the next 5 to a week, that's what it was, what we agreed on, that he wouldn't go into any VC related to Six Arakin, any stream to Six Arakin, or any of the sort. He would basically not show his face in any Six Arakin stream. And at the time, I was really more consistent with hate watching him, because I was watching him almost every fucking day, like a regular LTG watcher. You know what I'm saying? So I knew I was watching. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't even last a day. So not only that, and what I did in retaliation to the first thing, it was one of the agreements that we had is I wasn't able to bring Violet into the server. I wasn't able to bring Rat King to the server. I wasn't able to bring any of these people that he was currently beefing with in the server. The fact that I even have to name them, it's even so. But I did, and I confessed to that. Because in my head, I felt like it was all justified right then and there. I was just like, hey, you know what? If you're not going to even last a freaking day, you know what I'm saying? Then why should I even take care of your goddamn server? Why even oblige your wishes? You know? If you're not going to oblige your mind. And that's why I did it.
So was it mainly because he betrayed what he said he was going to do and he went back to a Six Arakin server, or was it because of the Rybar situation? Because the way everything was made out, at least when I was reading it, it seemed that the Rybar situation was really the tipping point, as you said, but it seemed like as if that was the main reason.
No, it wasn't the main. Yeah, it wasn't the main reason, because I'm just like sitting there in the back of my head. I'm just like, you know, I'm trying to be forgiving, but I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. I'm from the Bronx. I'm no Mr. Rogers, my man. I grew up tumultuous. I had a tumultuous childhood. And frankly, for me to even try to be, you know, that type of person, it takes a lot of me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like, in the sense, I just was like, yo, you know what? All right, you going to his GC and VCs day of. Then not only that, it for me, I guess you could call it built up. The first thing that really pissed me off initially was him going into the VCs. The second thing is when I found out that he was influencing other fucking people to leave other servers to go to his. So to consider it more like built up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I can understand that.
Because I was just like, you know what? I'm tired.
I can see how it could be a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that is fair. So after that, after you invited them to the server, you essentially nuked it.
Yeah, I essentially nuked it while he was calling me.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I saw that as well. In his confession, he says that he wasn't aware, at least while you guys were in that call. But I don't think that really matters.
That really doesn't. Yeah, it really doesn't matter, because at the time I was in Violet's server talking to Violet. You know, because this is the first. I'm gonna be frank with you. This is the first time I ever nuked or deleted a server. So like, first time for everything, right?
No,
so
fair,
I was getting.
Yeah.
So I was getting instructions from another person.
Yeah, and he basically, and so like, you know, I didn't really know who to trust. Kage was kind of one of the few people that I could trust, and I had to basically hold my server for a bit so that I can like take some time to myself and just like go on vacation. I literally saw him nuke the server in real time, and I tried calling him, and that's where I have some of the screenshots of him basically saying, "Oh, he tried calling me while I was nuking it," and that's when he invited, you know, Rat King, Violet, and all of those people into the server, and that's where Violet was kind of like, "Oh, I had no part in the nuking of the server." How I took it as if she was being snarky, and she was just kind of rubbing it into my face, and was just wanting to watch it happen. And so, the thing is that I'm a person that forgives and forgets, but not forgives and forgets, but I'm a person that forgives but doesn't forget. And I forgave, I'm not gonna forget it, you know? you know, because life's too short. This is internet shit. I could just make a new server. It's just annoying that I would have to make a new server, but it's okay. I don't really use Discord like that, so I didn't really care much. It was when the second server came through, I was just kind of like...
That other person being Violet, and we've heard her name a lot. As mentioned earlier, she is one of the original founders of the server Revolt. I feel like she's more of the spokesperson, the figurehead. She also used to be a mod for Six Erican. Now that means nothing. Roxas was also a mod for Six Erican. LTG Rocks was also a mod for LTG. There's a lot of these mods that are actually undercover agents. On the other side or hidden, that's not relevant. But it shows her importance within the community, which is why her word and the things that she says and does holds a lot of weight within the Six Erican community. And it is safe to say that Turtle does not like her at all.
And so the thing is, like, this is when I basically made the second server, and Roxas kind of let them back in. But this is when Violet like left, and she basically said, "Oh, I'm sick of Turtle's antics and him thinking that like the lack of like common sense." And it's like, dude, the thing is that I have no issue with how people talk. Like, the thing is, I have no issue with how people feel about me, but I'll be damned if you go after my community. Don't go after my community. If you have an issue with me, that's okay. You can have that issue with me, but don't try to like rope my community in it and try to say that I'm this, that, and the third. I've basically been made out saying that like, oh, I can't take accountability or whatever, this, that, and the third. But then, or I'm being childish or this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, no, dude. It's just that like you're talking a lot of shit, and that's what happens. And like things were going smooth, things were smooth sailing, things were going good. I think things started to feel weird, and like it started to feel weird around like November-ish, because that's when like I started to get hints that like one of the people in there, Violet, she typically has an attitude problem. I'm not the first one to say this. A lot of people can vouch for me that like there is an attitude problem with her, and it's how she talks. Me, if I have a problem with somebody, I try to go with them in DMs and try to discuss it with them and try to tell them, yo, what's up? I think what was said was that, like, I guess there was going to be a call with one of Six's moderators, Bings and whatnot. And I was like joking, saying like, oh, let me in on the call. I just want to like, run amok or whatever, something like that. I kind of forget what I said, but she said no, too many people and whatnot. And I was like, boo, buzzkill, like just to like, lighten the mood, just to be funny. I don't really try to go out of my way to insult people, like willingly, but she said no and added on saying that, and even if that did, like me and my associates trolling is better than yours. So it's felt like a personal jab, and I was like, okay. Like she was saying, like if I want to be a buzzkill, I tell you that your trolling is bad, and I was like, okay, that's weird. Like, I'm kind of like, be joking with you and whatnot, but for you to like be like that way, that was kind of weird. I brought it up with Violet in DMs, and like basically the entire thing was that she basically said, that's a you problem, that's how I talk. And there was no accountability taken for how she talked. And I was like, okay, whatever, but it felt weird.
Okay. So that's the gist of everything when it comes to Shell 1.0. Kage was upset because Turtle made promises to him that he didn't keep, especially when it came to engaging with Six Erican content, as well as the situation with Rybar, and that threw him over the edge. He did get his server, so he was actively trying to help out Turtle and was his friend, but due to him failing to commit to the stipulations and everything that happened with Kyoto as well, Kage took it upon himself to nuke the server. My opinion on whether that was the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do is not relevant. This is a personal drama between two people that used to be friends, and it extends into the troll sphere. However, I feel like this is an important thing to note because I did ask these gentlemen about the ethics of trolling. And the initial story, when this came to me, the first part about how Kage wanted to hack Six Erican's whole setup, That to me was important. That was interesting. So I ended up asking these gentlemen, what are their thoughts? At least when it came to trolling.
Oh, so this is regarding the ethics of trolling, right? So the thing is that I was basically telling Violet, like, look, dude, like, you may consider something too far, but some people don't, and you just have to accept that for what it is. And she's saying, no, that's racist. And I'm saying, that's what you think. That's what you think. Like, in a philosophical standpoint, I can understand, right? From a philosophical point, I can understand, right? Like, oh, this happened, like, this is too far, you know? But some people don't think that that's far. Like, same way some people in LTG's trolling community find some things too far and some things not far enough.
To be able to say shit like that.
You know? And I was just saying, like, some people in LTG's community are okay with people calling them the hard R. Some people aren't. And that's okay. You just gotta accept it for what it is, though, because that's what's gonna happen. There's no, how can I put this? There's no, like, laws on how to troll somebody effectively. And that's what I was basically arguing. That we shouldn't be arguing the ethics of trolling. Like, come on. This is, like, stupid. We shouldn't be, like, policing how to troll somebody and if it's bad. You're saying, oh, being racist is, like, trolling? I'm like, well, I'm not saying, in my opinion, I'm not saying that is trolling, but I'm saying other people are going to think that is trolling, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you can't change their opinion on it. I'm basically telling her that, like, people are going to have their opinions like they have assholes. Everyone's opinion is different. You have an opinion, so do I. And so will the other person who thinks that spamming the hard R to 6 or any other area of the lolcow is funny. Just how it is. That's all I was saying. But whenever I get into these things, like, Violet made a statement saying, like, I think you should get an IQ test. I'm like, well, why are we trying to insult people? We're trying to have a conversation. And then it's like a backpedal into, oh, that's just how I talk. It sounds like a you problem. And it's just like, we're having a decent conversation. I don't know why you're getting upset about this.
Give me that nigga's username.
Like, there's Violet also has a knack for basically saying things that alienate a lot of people. She thinks that people like OCD keep Six Erican relevant, which I think is idiotic, because if that was the case, like, that's the same thing as, like, you guys keeping LTG relevant. No, we're just laughing at them. And that's what, exactly, like, it's a slippery slope. I get that, but it's how you look at it, and it's like, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Same, like, with any lolcow in particular. Yeah, we can ignore the lolcow, but there's also the chance that if we ignore it, then he'll just garner a following even more and more, and go unnoticed, and fly under the radar. Or we can cover him, make content about him, troll him, do the same thing, but people can laugh at him. And that's the issue that many lolcows face, even with any lolcow. LTG, 6 Eric, and DSP, any of that. You know?
So all the information that I'm going to be asking you about, it comes from screenshots that he has provided for me. And yeah, are you aware of that server?
Yeah, I'm well aware of it, yeah.
Okay, so all of this will come from there.
Yeah, so, like, I also spoke to him, like, about, I think, like, was it 2-3 hours ago? So, like, I spoke to him about it too, and he was just like, oh, I told him that you wanted to interview me on this, and I was just like, yeah, I said yes. So he's already aware that I've been speaking to you as well. So I was just like, yeah, okay. But yeah.
Okay. Well, the only reason why I care about it is because I'm thinking about the art of trolling. Like, I know we come from different communities. You're 6 Eric, I'm LTG.
Yeah.
But recent developments in my own community and the ones that I saw here, it makes me think, how should we be trolling our lolcows effectively? So that's
a good question. That's a very good question.
No, honestly.
Like, if you want my spin on it when it comes down personally, like, it's more or less there. To me, there's no right way. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna start off there. There's no right way of doing this shit, you know. And in the end of the day, I know we all doing it for our own reasons, you know. We all have our reasons, you know. But the one thing that I personally see from my personal experience from the Six Erican universe is everybody coming at each other's throats for how we troll. You understand what I'm saying? And yeah, you know, people may agree to disagree with certain shit, but we shouldn't be fucking straying away from each other or dividing each other from this shit. Because there really isn't no right way.
There isn't a right way, but I feel like there's a wrong way. But we'll get into that as I ask a few questions. Well, my plan is to make sure that I just show all the facts. And I want you guys to be able to speak your mind, say the truth how you see it, and let the public decide. Because ultimately, what I'm really curious about is the art of trolling. So bringing it back to that, you said before that you think that there's not really a right way to do it, which I agree. There's not really a right way to troll because ultimately you are harassing somebody. Like at its core, that's what it is.
Yeah, trolling in itself is a form of harassment that, yeah, sure, we do it, you know, may it be a prank or may it be something to fuck with your fucking friends with. But when it comes down to a certain place, in a certain way you do it, it's really too far. Take me, for example. Okay? And this is, I can only speak from my own experiences. When people went out of their way to reveal my information that I had no consent in being revealed, other than to my personal constituents, that was far enough. That to me is far. When you dox people, when you reveal certain information that could also potentially get them, harm them or hurt them, that's too far.
Agreed. So you would say that that's the wrong way of trolling them in those situations.
Yeah, it's the wrong way of trolling. You could fuck with somebody's mind and not completely, you know, mind crush them. You know what I mean? It could just simply be just that, a prank. Don't let it get any further than that.
It could be. We have to remember, not a lot of people are mentally untouchable. Some people are going to be affected even by just a simple prank.
Oh, of course. You know, that's life, brother. That is life. Anybody in this world is not safe. You understand what I'm saying? But it's when you prey on the innocent is what makes you know better.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about trolling at its essence. I think I mentioned it earlier in the video that when you troll someone, you are essentially harassing them. That's what it is. I don't care how justified it is. I don't care how many pretty labels you put on it in order to make it sound good or that you're fighting a worthy cause. You are harming somebody. Now, am I trying to say that as if I'm trying to justify my trolling because I'm aware of it? No, I know what I'm doing. I may be able to tell you all the reasons why I think it's a good thing and that I'm trying to expose the heinous things that LTG has done. But essentially, I am harming or attempting to harm an individual. So when it comes to things like racism, when it comes to going after their looks, when it comes to going after the things that they say, they do, when you're going after this person, two things can be true at the same time. You can be trolling them, like you are trolling them because you're trying to get a rise out of them. You're trying to make fun, whatever. And it can still be racist. You can troll them and it can still be sexist, right? Trolling does not alleviate the status of what it is. You can't just say, oh, I'm just trolling when you say that this person drags their hands on the ground, calling them a knuckle dragger. You cannot say that you're just trolling at that point. There's some racism in there. There has to be. But trolling doesn't alleviate it. It's like when people do like these pranks and they're making jokes about, oh, you know, I'm just throwing this shit at you, but it's a prank, bro. Nah, it's not a prank. You can call it a prank, but you're also actively harming the fuck out of this person. So it's very important to know that two things or multiple things can be true at the very same time. It's not mutually exclusive. trolling is not a hall pass to do whatever the fuck you want. And I think the safety net of the internet is what allows people to say that, oh, it's just a joke. Oh, we shouldn't be taking this internet shit seriously. It's because you niggas hide anonymously. It's because you got that safety blanket. You understand? If you didn't have that, you'd be taking this shit way more seriously. I promise you that. And I'm not saying that because I put my face out there and I expect people to do the same thing. That's not the point at all. The point I'm trying to make is you should take it seriously because it's life. You shouldn't denounce it because you can hide. You should take it seriously. There should be an ethics in the most things that we do, especially if we're actively trying to fuck with and harm somebody. I think a little decorum goes a long way.
What are you doing? Oh my god, you suck. We're going, God, you suck. We're going another round 2. We're going another match 2. If you leave, I'm refunding the money. And I'm gonna have the people call you and say that you're a scammer if you fucking leave. Alright? So we're going another match 2, and I'm gonna refund the money if you fucking leave.
Alright, so now we're getting into the show 2.0. This is the second server. After the nuking of the first one, Turtle was trying to get things back. He was trying to garner everything back that he lost after Kage nuked his server for his own reasons.
And so I made my server the second time. And this time I really went all in. I got people in and I started making a community again. I took my time. And I was happy. I was letting people through. I was letting people in. We got some Glazers in there, but they got kicked out. Such like this, that, and the third. That's just what it is. And so when that whole entire thing about the ethics of trolling came through, that was in my second server. Right? I kept on doing what I had to do. Kept doing my thing. Chilling. Then I tried to get people to restream 6 or watch 6 in the stream. I wanted to bring people together to just watch the stream and just come together and just laugh. That's really ultimately what I want to do. I kind of wanted to. I'm not going to say that I'm going to be capable of making a symphony. That's just how I know that. But I at least want to make people. I just want to have people come together and enjoy a restream and laugh.
First, I want to note that we were about to talk about Violet. Violet's a very important player within this whole second arc, but we're also going to talk about someone named Amelia. And for those that do not know, Amelia is an active mod of 6 Erican and a known glazer. That's the word that the kids use these days. They call people glazers. When you glaze too much. I learned that the hard way. That's the whole story with the first server. Thank you for clearing up at least your side of it.
Yep.
Are you familiar with the second part? At least the Violet part of the nuking of his server.
Oh yeah, I am. I'm fully aware of that. So, what I've ascertained from the whole thing, I've already personally told Turtle, hey, look, listen. When I first came back and we were first trying to patch things up, I was like, hey, look, mod me up and I'll try to clear up the clutter / chaos in here. I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna leave this all at a clean slate, just the same way we agreed. I'm gonna leave this all on a clean slate, and that's it. So once he modded me and everything like that, him and a Violet were going back and forth about a role and everything like that. Because this is basically what I remember. This whole fight was all about a role, and basically Violet feeling like the role was taken away. Then not only that, people were she was just feeling like, oh, you're giving this person the server, which was his name is Kudro. He giving him the same terms as me, as me, but he's co-owner or some shit like that. But anyway, that's the reason why. And then also they found out that he accidentally invited Amelia into the server. So that pretty much, it's like putting your hand in a pack of piranhas filled with blood. You know what I'm saying? It literally just started having everybody going against him at that point. There was only a handful of people that were on his side at the end of the whole thing.
No, the person that messed things up, it was not Hockey SSBU. So, yes, it's Amelia. So the thing is when you look at that screenshot, you would think that I sent an invite directly to Amelia, but that's not the case. I sent an invite to a different account that I thought was Hockey's account, Hockey SSBU's account, but it was a Glazers account. When I found out that it was a Glazers account, I banned them. Over time, they still had that name, but then they changed it because their main account got banned. So this is where I mean, where like there's a lot of like without context, it looks bad, but I had to explain it in a way where people could understand it. Let me just go back and like just look at it from my perspective, right? So basically, Amelia H014, Glazer, nobody likes them. I think you can kind of say that it's like the equivalent to something along the lines of like I don't really know if there's like a LTV Glazer that you would like know that's like, you know, goes around just like harassing other like trolls or whatever, or just think of something like that. Yeah, so think of like Dreddy. Think of like Dreddy, but like kind of more psychotic, right? So I wasn't really thinking much. I added them, and I actually went into a whole thing with the other mods regarding that matter. And I found out that it was Amelia. So we banned them. There was nothing to be said about it. It was just like, okay, it was an accident. I didn't know. Right? And at the time of me investigating this, Rat King, who is also like, you know, close friends with Vi, and like Two Shots and all those other people, was in the call when I was investigating this. That's why I have that thing right there.
Now here is the video of Roxas explaining the situation.
Okay, basically what happened was when Amelia Discord account got banned, she made a new one. And Turtle didn't know that was Amelia. So basically, Amelia made like it was hockey. Turtle didn't know that. Turtle was in school or whatever. And that's how that shit happened. That's how that shit escalated.
You know? But I understand. I like from Turtle's standpoint, even though I'm not very cordial with him right now, I understand from Turtle's standpoint because I feel some form of responsibility here. Because I was one of the people that ostracized him after, you know, the second server was nuked and said and done, you know? But yeah, that's pretty much what I whole ascertained because I woke up to the whole thing and then people were just trying to fill me in.
So a lot of initial anger comes towards Turtle because of him accidentally inviting Amelia into the server. And as we explained before, Amelia is a Glazer of 6 Erican, and people are very aware of who that person is. Now, it was also mentioned briefly that Violet and her anger about the whole Cujo situation and losing modship, that's another part of the story that equal to all the chaos. I'm essentially going to tell you all the chaos that occurred was because of this second event. The first event was not good. It was a bad look for Turtle, and it made him look like he was a conspirator. But as you can also see, there's a lot of people of notable worth that did support him, even though there was a lot of people of the same worth that were against him. But this situation with Violet, especially with how Cujo was acting, that was what broke the camel's back. And as you can see from here and some subsequent screenshots, people were kind of tired at that point. But let's hear a little bit about Turtle's thoughts on it.
Because this all stems from basically one of my closer friends, Cujo, basically telling Violet like, hey, you don't need to be an admin in the server anymore. And they took perms away. I took perms away, and they were like, and I basically got like, you know, heavy-handed or hand over fisted, basically told like, oh, we need Violet in the server because Violet does a lot of mod things. I'm just like, she doesn't got to be an admin. She can just be a moderator. I don't really need a lot of admins. What do you guys need admin for? You know, it's not really much to do. This is kind of just like, you know, things getting misconstrued and turned to make me look like a bad person or a person that's like not trustworthy. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what the hell's happening? I'm doing my own thing. I'm trying to do what I can, and then this happens. So I don't have screenshots of what happened, But what I do know is that, you know, in the screenshots that come next, I basically show like, oh, that's the conversation that happened between Kudro, Violet, saying that like, oh, like you're just not a mod anymore. We don't really got to tell you why. That's just Kudro saying. Because the thing is that like, believe it or not, this is probably like my fault too, because I did a lot of self-reflection on this too. But it was more so like me just like not having any backbone, basically saying, no, this is what I want to do in my server. I don't care. But because I wanted to keep the peace, I just kind of like folded. You know? When I basically had to nuke my second server, basically what was said is Violet basically made an announcement adding everyone into my server, stating that I invited glitches into my server. There was no text between me and her, or anyone else for that matter, basically saying, oh, why did you mean to invite them? No. Usually they would go into people's DMs.
Just take the game.
They would go into people's DMs. I know for a fact Violet would do something like that, but Violet didn't do that.
You don't deserve to play me again.
So I was like, okay, that's weird. And so I see that like, oh, they're using those screenshots. I'm like, what? I didn't mean to invite her. And then I started piecing together. I was like, oh, that's what happened. So I had to basically, dig myself out of a hole. And not only that, they unbanned some of the people that I had banned in my banned log, and just basically unbanned them and invited them back into the server, and they just ran rampant. And on top of that, they had the notification bot, and they basically deleted every other notification and put in basically Amelia's channel as on the notify me bot. So I was like, what the hell? So I'm like, what the hell? I didn't do this. Because at the time, I'm getting ready for school. I'm getting ready to go to my classes. I don't have time to be doing all this stuff. This doesn't benefit me. But the thing is, they tried to bank off of the fact that I had to go to school, and this would be happening while I didn't notice. But I was doing that. But I was watching this happen like in real time, and I was like, what the hell? So I couldn't be bothered. I'm in school. I can't be bothered. I can't be going through all the trouble to have to ban these same people and unban them and whatnot. So I just deleted the server. And that's the same. And basically the whole entire thing about it against me is that, oh, if you know it's not true, why did you delete the server? I couldn't be bothered to do it. I couldn't be bothered to deal with it. That doesn't make any sense. And mind you, this is all over being told that you're just not an admin anymore in someone's server. This is over a Discord rule. This is literally over a Discord rule. This is, in simplest terms, this is literally over a Discord role, and they just didn't like how they were talked to. I try to strip perms, but then I basically because again, Violet's Circle basically became mods. I realized this. Violet's Circle basically became most of the mods in that server, and it basically became their server again, not mine. I wanted to take control back, and I talked to Kudro about it, because Kudro, I could trust him. He's not with Violet Circle. He's an OCD Circle. And I talked with him, and I was like, hey man, I really need some help here, Can you just do this for me? And he did it. And he basically, and the thing is, Kudro doesn't give a fuck. He'll basically tell it to you straight, and he won't care. And the thing is, Violet didn't like how Kudro was talking down on her, similar to how a lot of people didn't like how Violet was talking down on them. It was kind of poetic in a sense, if you think about it.
So, what Turtle is saying here is that everyone within his server, the second one, was essentially a Violet mod, and it wasn't his server anymore. That's why he entrusted Kudro with the task of demodding and helping him gain control, and then that's when the problems happened. Now, I do have to note one thing. Now, there are 3 names that have been mentioned all throughout this whole episode. 2 of them you may know, 2 Shots and Rat King. 2 Shots is the one that had control of the template and the bots within server number 2, and he fucked with Turtle shit. But he was also there since the beginning, since the Revolt server. Same with Rat King, and same with Ballsman. Now, Rat King, I have been told by Turtle he's doing a lot of questionable and suspect stuff, but I'm not going to get into it in this episode. But the most important one is Ballsman, and Ballsman does play a consistent part, at least when it comes to the Shell 2.0. So in the screenshot right here, he labels and I'm assuming he's speaking as the spokesman of everybody that's within Violet's mod group. He explains 3 reasons why he is unhappy, or they're unhappy with what happened. And it goes as follows. So he makes 3 points when it comes to his beef with Turtle, and I'm assuming the group's beef with Turtle. The first one has to do with an evidence server that the 2 of them were working together on. And Turtle does express that he is apologetic for it. I think he did apologize to him. They live in different time zones, so by the time that Turtle deleted everything, he was aware of it way too late. So a sad situation, but I believe apologies were made. For the second situation, with Cujo and how he was, we already heard everything about that, so it is what that is. But for the third one, they're talking about a sus-ass plan. And I do talk to both individuals about it, so let's see what they say. However, I will not bury the lead. Ballsman, and this is the same account. This is from Turtle. Turtle says this is the same account, so believing that it is, Ballsman also admits to wreaking havoc and adding back the 6 Glazers and adding Amelia's YouTube to the bot. He admits to being one of the people that did it, so you might have to take what he says with a grain of salt, but however, we addressed his points previously, and here's what it said.
Oh, so, okay. So, such as plan. So basically, I wanted to make my own, like, private server with me and my IRL friends. And I also wanted to do something with, like, some other people that weren't really in Violet Circle that I wanted to do on my own.
Can't wait to see this hedgehog.
And the reason why I was basically saying that, I basically, like, alluded to the fact that I was clicking something, and they were trying to prime me with information. I was like, it's nothing crazy. But they took it as me basically going behind their back trying to do something shady when I wasn't. I just don't have to tell people what I'm doing. Exactly. I wanted to make something for my own, and I basically copied the layout to the server. And they thought that I was trying to basically take their hard work or whatever. It was really stupid, man. I couldn't even begin to tell you how stupid it was.
Just so I can say certain roasts and things like that.
But it's whatever. That's honestly what the sus-ass plan was.
No, I understand that. Because I've seen everything here, at least from Turtle's perspective. Cujo, I'll be honest, the way he was acting towards Violet in those screenshots, that would set anybody off. I get that.
Yeah.
So I understand at least her anger about it. But you feel responsible because they had the idea, or because you nuked the first server? So any nuking of Turtle's server afterward, you're going to kind of feel like, oh, I started this chain.
It wasn't because I nuked the initial server. It was more or less of like, oh, okay, if you want to play it that way, and then you guys don't, and you don't want to be, and you don't want to give your mods any clarification, because at the time, I think we had like 8 or 9 mods at the time. And he was planning on cooking on something, and he wasn't giving any clarity to anyone. So people took that as, oh, okay. So since you don't want to give any clarity, or you don't want to give Violet her rollback, so everybody's just going to completely turn against you. And that's literally what happened. And Violet personally came on to me while I was in the VC, and he was like, look, I understand your shit with Turtle and everything like that. I wouldn't hold it against you if you say to go. And I already told her personally, I was like, I was already finding a reason to go, because personally at the time, I'm already getting doxxed during this whole fucking shebang. You understand what I'm saying?
Doxxed?
I got this person. Yeah, I'm getting doxxed by one of these 6 arrogant fucking Glazers. You know, I'm not gonna put out her name because that's what she wants. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I'm being doxxed, and I'm letting everybody know in the server, you know, like, hey, look, I got doxxed, blah 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 blah, you know. So I was already like 1 foot out of the 6 arrogant universe at one point in my life, and before I completely stepped away and did part of the nuking, because I didn't do it entirely this time. I literally personally told Turtle multiple times. I told multiple people in that server as well at the time, like, hey, look, I might have to step away because I feel like I endangered my family. I feel like I endangered myself. So personally speaking, I think I need to walk away from this because it got too far. This person literally just doxed my entire family, my dead sister, my mother, my stepmom, my biological father, you know, like almost my entire family. And I feel some form of responsibility / guilt for that. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
I'm sorry, Kage. That's terrible.
Yeah, you good. Oh man, it's all good. I'm pretty sure the reason why Turtle didn't tell you this other part is because it's my personal privacy, which I respect you for that, Turtle. If you once you see this, bro, thank you for keeping my privacy. By the way, even though I hate you, thank you.
Yeah, trolling is a dangerous game. This is not some shit to take lightly. So that's why I harped in my IMO video the importance of internet safety. You know, that's why I also subsequently got hacked myself after the fact. You need to take this shit seriously. Okay? This is your life. And speaking on life, I do want to have the gentlemen give their closing thoughts and talk about how they feel. But let me talk to you guys about how I feel. So ultimately, the nuking of both of these servers, it came from people misunderstanding each other. It came from people not willing to communicate. It came from a lot of shade being thrown, a lot of quote unquote light being shined on situations where it didn't have to shine. There was a lot of things that could have been done to prevent these situations that happened, but because, and I mentioned it before, because they're young, and because there's this safety of the internet where people can be edgy and people can say and do whatever they want and not worry about the consequences because they can just go to bed tomorrow. It's all those things put together that allowed for this situation to occur. And when it comes to trolling, there has to be a certain level of decorum. There has to be a certain level of seriousness. Serious in the fact that you don't want to fuck up your own life over some dumb shit, or the life of the people around you over it, but also because you have to understand that what you're doing is intentionally hurting somebody, all right? If you're an LTG troll, you're intentionally hurting LTG. And we can say and sugarcoat it with the words like, oh, we're doing it for proper reasons, we're doing it to expose a terrible human being. We can say that until we turn blue in the face. But just remember the initial fact. And when you do that, there's going to be people against you. Not just the person that you're trolling, but the people that support that person. So you're going to always have conflict. There's always going to be conflict in this game. So I just think it's very, very important that we all respect the people that we're around, respect the people within our community, and do a better job when it comes to trolling. Because the way some people want to troll, yeah, I think wanting to hack Six Erican's computer is crazy as shit. Insane, even. And while I understand the reasoning why and what you could do with that knowledge and that power, that's what puts you at risk. And unfortunately, maybe that's what's led to Kage getting a lot of his information doxed. So, that's all I want to say about it. Let's hear what the gentlemen have to say as well.
Yeah, however, the thing is that what people fail to realize is that, like, there's a lot of hypocrisy that happens. There's really a lot of hypocrisy. You know, that's just how it is. There's a lot of hypocrisy, and they give a lot of people chances because most of that server is basically a whole clique. And a lot of stuff goes unchecked. And the thing is, because no one tells them that, hey, you gotta stop, it's just kind of like, they're just like, you know, they just think they can do it.
I used to be this person's friend. I used to, you know, just like Turtle, bro. Me and him came from the same place. We met from the same place, the Six Erican server. You understand what I'm saying? I met most of these people in Six Erican server, you know, very early. when OCD was coming coming up and coming early, you know? And these people know me very personally, you know? They know what I'm about when it comes down to the 6 Arrogant server. I'm just here to see a means to an end, you know? And I told them clearly, you know, hey, listen, I'm not gonna, what's the word? I'm not gonna get at y'all for how y'all guys, you know, associate yourselves or more or less have a hive mind of yourselves. But I'm not gonna be this hive mind anymore either, because that's what it really blows down to and boils down to is you being a yes man. You're trying to high road me based off of my shit and what I went through. Let it be known. Let the public be known. I got pushed to where I was. I didn't want to be this. You know? And it's the same thing with him. I just more like, when it comes down to that side of those people, I'm simply deviating myself away from them as well. Because I personally see what Turtle has saw is the biasness. And that's where I'm gonna leave it at. It's bias.
AFC don't really care like that.
Yeah, dude, I don't really dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I do this shit for fun. If I didn't, and the thing is that, like, if I wasn't having fun, I wouldn't be doing this. I have fun doing it. Like, I was really, like, dude, when I tell you, like, when I was trolling 6, I didn't think that, like, most of LTG's trolls would know about me. I'm being so serious. Like, and like, I know I keep on saying this, like, to my own horn, but I was surprised. I was like, oh, hey guys, I'm TurtleDaze. And people were like, oh, TurtleDaze, you're that guy that trolls 6 Arrogant, right? I'm like, what? You guys know who I am? What? I was shocked. And I was shocked by the love that I got from it. You know? Like, that's the type of shit that I live for. I love community. I love closeness. I love being able to laugh at people. I know it can be annoying sometimes, but, like, that's kind of just, like, who I am as a person. Not perfect.
So if you can see at least how Turtle is seeing, then is there
For now,
ever a
yeah.
chance? Would there ever be a chance of reconciliation?
For Turtle or Balls? Or either one.
Turtle.
No.
Like, quite frankly, dude, it's just like, one thing I will say, if you hate me, you hate me. Like, I don't really, I'm not gonna go through the whole entire, like, kit and caboodle about everything. Like, you hate me, you hate me. If you don't, you don't. That's just how it is. Like,
yeah, I don't know
I'm kind of just at a point where it's summertime. I'm not really online as much. I'm enjoying the weather. I'm enjoying my time outside. You know, hanging out with friends, doing what I got to do for myself to make sure that I'm all right. And I don't really got time for this internet stuff. I'm here for a good time, to enjoy time with friends, make a community, foster community. And if you don't like me, man, hey man, that's on you. That's on you, man.
I personally, hey, I already know you're gonna see this, bro. Personally speaking, after you try to dig up dirt for my ex-girlfriend, that was literally like the straw on the camel's back for me, brother. You literally stabbed me in the back multiple times, bro. Then you expect me to smile after that? Look in the mirror, bro.
Yeah, very personal. I see. Oh. Sorry I had to come to that level, honestly.
Nah, I hear you, man. I had to come to that level with multiple people because I'm pretty sure there are going to be multiple people that are going to watch this video and still going to find a way to try to crucify me. And I'm just going to let that be known.
And with that, that is episode 1 of The Art of Trolling. What are your guys' thoughts? Who do you think was in the right? Who do you think was wrong? Can anybody be vindicated for what has happened? Do we need to know more about the story? Please tell me your thoughts, share in the comments, like, subscribe, and I will see you in episode 2. Coming out in a few days. Please be aware. It's going to be crazy. This is Tsunami shining out. Peace.
But are they truly your friends? That's the real question. You might get like 700 people to watch you, but who in here really with you as a person, not as a streamer? Because you have this weird character that you display. Where like, oh yeah, I'm a god. This is my domain. I wake up and piss excellence. Like you have a script that you go by every single day.
Say it one more time. I was just getting into it.
I'm not saying that shit, bro. You know your lines. Come on now.
I make bread, break bread, then break heads. Bitches try to kill me, but nigga, I ain't dead. I'm with your sister, and she giving me great head.